It is time already for the March announcements for Vinegar Syndrome and their plethora of partner labels. We have another month of obscure, unknown titles to plough through and try and decide what's worth getting, what sparks any kind of interest. As always, we are going to jump into the Vinegar Syndrome subscription package first. Movies that I already have locked in that I'm getting regardless. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess we'll find out. First up, we have Reform School Girls. Now, I've heard of this before, but I haven't seen it. The Pridemore Juvenile Detention Facility isn't just a place for troubled teenage girls to serve their time. Instead, it's a living hell filled with sexual depravity and violence. Jenny, a fresh inmate, becomes the de facto protector of Lisa, an innocent young girl forced to being a plaything to anyone after her body. Then there's Charlie, a hardened teenage lesbian who torments her fellow prisoners through brutal acts of sexual sadism. The trailer looks kind of fun. It looks kind of bright and colourful and silly and just all kinds of over-the-top fun stuff, which I kind of like the look of. It's a region-free Blu-ray, newly scanned 2K from its 35mm interpositive. So Young, So Bad, So What, an extended making-of documentary. Pat asked Superstar, an interview with theatrical producer Alan Eichner. Ode to Wendy, an interview with author and critic Brianna Whipple of the life and career of actress Wendy O. Williams. Archival commentary with the director, commentary track with queer film historian Elizabeth Purcell, video footage from the play Women Behind Bars, original trailers, reversible artwork, English subtitles as well. It looks kind of fun and kind of silly. I'm obviously going to watch it, so we have that. Next up, we have a movie that was announced early on we were getting. It's Hard Rock Zombies, but the surprise here is that it comes with Slaughterhouse Rock. This, yeah, a little bit different. Slaughterhouse Rock I have seen. We'll get to that. First up, Hard Rock Zombies, one that I don't know a great deal about. A heavy metal band has been invited to appear in a conservative small town. What they don't know is that their hosts are in fact a family of horrific and murderous mutants whose patriarch is none other than Hitler. After being swiftly murdered, Casey, the only non-violent member of this depraved clan, wills the band back to life. Soon, the stuffy townspeople are faced with an unwelcome reckoning as the zombified musicians thrash and maim their way through the community in the name of grisly revenge and love. Sounds fun enough. And then we have Slaughterhouse Rock, which is Alex, a college student, is being plagued by strange dreams in which a grotesque man commits heinous acts of torture and murder. With the help of his friends, Alex discovers that he is an unexplained telepathic link to a notorious killer who once lived in Alcatraz and whose bloodlust extends beyond the grave. When the supernatural experience begins to take on real-life manifestations, Alex and his friends sneak into the abandoned prison to put an end to their reign of terror, only to unwittingly walk into a bloodbath. So you get a 2-disc Blu-ray set here. Hard Rock Zombies is newly scanned, restored in 2K from 35mm archival elements. Never Say Die, a making-of documentary featuring interviews with actors. Popcorn, farce, and low-budget cheese featurette with special effects artists. From bit player to band leader, interview with actress Suzette Boggs. The Bible of Holy Moses watching Hard Rock Zombies through a fanatic's eye, an interview with author Lucy Hall. And then we have Slaughterhouse Rock, which is newly scanned and restored from a 4K from its 35 original negative. Low-key horror, interview with the cinematographer. That Girl Lives, an interview with actress Tammy Hiller. Wearing the Right Clothes, an interview with Nicholas Silozzi. Lunch Break with Claus, an interview with Al Fleming, an original trailer. Hard Rock Zombies, I hear some people praising it, I hear some people crapping on it. I, of course, will go in with an open mind and look forward to that. Slaughterhouse Rock, I've seen. I liked it. It was definitely a movie of two halves. I can't remember which half I preferred in this one. It's all kind of haunted dreams and fun stuff at the start. Music video. It's about a band dying in Alcatraz, if I really remember right. And in the second half, they break into Alcatraz to figure out why these dreams are haunting this character, and that's where that image of the cover comes from. I liked Slaughterhouse Rock. That was part of the Slasher Classics collection. In fact, I've already reviewed that movie on my channel, and if I've been clever, there'll be a link somewhere. And if I've not, I've just been lazy. Let's jump on to the next release, which is Schizoid and Xray in 4K, two 80s slasher movies. So let's have a quick look at the synopsis for these. Peter Fales is a renowned psychiatrist who is unable to reconcile his relationship with his teenage daughter, Alison. Julie, one of Peter's patients, is a successful advice columnist in the midst of a messy divorce who has started receiving threatening letters. When a black-clad, scissors-wielding killer begins murdering people in Julia's life, she begins to suspect that her unknown writer and this mystery assailant may be the one and the same. I kind of like this one. This, of course, is Schizoid. I'm sure it's got, is it Christopher Lloyd in it? I think it's a small role. I'm sure there's someone else in it as well. I can't remember, but it's kind of fun. It kind of has giallo leanings. It's not the greatest slasher ever. I'm curious to see what it looks like in 4K. Like I said, I'm getting it anyway. And then we have Xray. When Suzanne was a little girl, she rejected the Valentine of a love-struck classmate. Decades later, she's come to the hospital for a routine medical examination. But when her X-rays seem to show something unusual, Susan finds herself trapped in a bizarre medical nightmare, made all the worse as her vengeful childhood Valentine, disguised amongst the hospital staff, begins murdering everyone in his path as a means of proving his undying romantic obsession. Xray, a fun slasher. Really weird that this has came out as two 4Ks. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's about time to revisit them. Xray again was part of the Slasher Classics collection from 88 films. It's a disc I already have. Let's have a look at some of the extras. It's 4K UHD discs, so we get a 3-disc set, two 4Ks, one Region A Blu-ray, newly scanned and restored in 4K from the 35mm OCNs, Shooting by March, a new interview with Schizoid writer Hide the Scissors, a brand new interview with Schizoid actress Donna Wilkes, Blood in the Jacuzzi, a brand new interview with Schizoid makeup artist the Wellesley graduate, a brand new interview with Schizoid actress Flo Lawrence, Ultraviolence Vengeance, the talent and technicians of Xray, a brand new making of documentary, Bad Medicine, an archival interview with Xray director Bose Davidson, original theatrical trailer for Schizoid, inside cover artwork, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. So, again, Schizoid is a good movie, solid, fun. I don't know if I would have picked it up if I didn't, if I hadn't already seen it. Same with Xray. I do like that they've packaged this as a double pack. I appreciate that. I would like to see, I think it just looks like a simple case holding two discs. I wish it was more like a Scanner Cop set, you know, that housed two individual cases, but, you know, we can't get everything. Next up, we have VSA number 22. We have Talons of the Eagle. We have Billy Blanks and another wonderful action movie. Fantastic, terrific. That's a plus. We have James Hong as the bad guy. Amazing. Another plus. We have Jalal Marie as one of the lead actors, which is pretty much a black hole of charisma and something that makes me just a little bit worried about this one. DEA agent and martial arts expert Tyler is sent on assignment to Toronto, where he is tasked in trying to stop an influx of narcotics into the States. Once in Toronto, Wilson is partnered with Detective Michael Reed, and the two undergo rigorous martial arts training. I smell a montage, and the training hopes of entering a local fighting tournament and get closer to the well-known drug dealer named Mr. Lee. After saving Lee's life, Wilson and Reed go undercover in Lee's gang in order to find the evidence they need to put Lee away. However, their martial arts training will be put to the test when Wilson and Reed try to take down Lee's syndicate, and the two are forced to fight for their lives. Sounds like a typical kind of action movie of the times. It's 96 minutes. It's a region-free Blu-ray, newly scanned in 4K from 35mm from the OCN. Commentary track with producer-actor Jalal Mari, Blood, Blades and Blanks, a making-of documentary featuring interviews with the cast and crew, original trailer, double-sided poster, limited to 5,000, reversible cover artwork, and subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing as well. I don't know. It could go either way. We will wait and see. I do like the kind of action stuff. It seems to be fine within the VSA range, so we'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens. Coffee. So we're going to move on to the partner label titles now with Stop Zemelia, Altered Innocence. This is from. There's a nice little thing here because it's made by a Ukrainian director. Donating $1 of every copy sold to the Voices of Children charity that works in Ukraine to protect children and rehabilitate them from PTSD resulting in this conflict. And there's a little link there to it as well, which is a nice touch. And hanging out with friends, smoking too much, spinning bottles and kissing, making mistakes, playing, refusing to accept, dreaming with open eyes. Life as a teenager can be overwhelmingly beautiful and difficult at the same time. Introverted high school girl Masha sees herself as an outsider unless she's hanging out with her two best friends, Yana and Sienna, who share her non-conformist status. While trying to navigate through the last year of school, Masha falls in love with the way that forces her out of her comfort zone. For me, this is a pass. It looks pretty great. The cinematography looks wonderful. The story doesn't really look as if it's going to connect with me, but it's interesting enough. Region-free Blu-ray, behind-the-scenes featurette, 2 photo galleries, US theatrical trailer, which is actually on the page you can check out as well, other trailers, and English and Spanish subtitles. Next up, from ETR Media, we have Scream Queen, which is one that I have seen before and I can recommend if you haven't seen it. Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street sets the record straight about controversial sequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street, which ended Mark Patton's acting career just as it was about to begin. Scream Queen follows Patton as he travels to horror conventions across the US. Each new city unwraps a chapter from his life that is met with equal parts joyful and bittersweet detail as he attempts to make peace with his past and embrace his legacy as cinema's first male Scream Queen. I saw this, I think it was last year, maybe a year or two ago, and I thought it was fantastic. I really like Nightmare on Elm Street series. Part 2 is a bit of an oddity. This delves into the making of it and the ramifications that came from it, and it's fascinating to watch, to kind of see how this movie almost broke Mark and how he managed to come through it is wonderful. I don't know if it's one that I'm going to go back and revisit, but if you haven't seen it and you're interested in Nightmare on Elm Street and you're interested in the actor who portrayed the main character in Part 2, absolute wonderful release. This is a Region A Blu-ray. It's got trailers, a skeleton head, split-second music video, a commentary by Mark Patton, The Psychic, alternative opening, The Monster is Queer, a look at horror genre studies with Dr. Anu Shkal, Bedtime Story with Mark Patton, tribute to Wes Craven, extended fireside chat with the cast of Freddy's Revenge, Backstage with Scream Queen, Femininity in the Horror Film, a discussion, a booklet with essay by B.J. Colangio, and English subtitles. Like I said, it's a really interesting watch. Next up, we have Sybil from Music Box Selects, a sly, sultry character study from filmmaker Justin Triet. Sybil follows a psychotherapist who decides to quit her practice and return to writing instead. As Sybil starts dropping patients, she begins to struggle with the excess time and the lack of inspiration, until she gets a call from Margot, a young actress wrapped up in a dramatic affair with her co-star Igor, who happens to be married to the film's director. Becoming further enmeshed in Margot's life, Sybil begins to blur the past and present, fiction with reality, and the personal with the professional, as she begins to use Margot's life as source material for her novel. Again, another one that looks wonderful. There's the trailer on the Vinegar Syndrome page here. It's a Regione Blu-ray, features audio commentary from film critic Alexandra Heller-Nicholas, interview with director Justin Triet, photo gallery, theatrical trailer, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. It looks interesting. I want to see reviews on this one before I would even think of getting it. To be honest, I've got a funny feeling it looks like a maybe one-time interesting watch, if anything. Next up, we have Slashdance, which I have heard about, but I have never seen. This is from Culture Shock. Beautiful dancers are being brutally murdered at the Van Slake Theatre. Is it the weird brothers who run the theatre? The perverted stage manager? A vengeful ghost? Bombshell detective Tory Raines must go undercover as a dancer to find the killer or become his next victim. From 1989, this is a region-free Blu-ray bonus feature film, Hollywood's New Blood, full-length commentary with the director James Shyman, full-length commentary by Hack the Movies podcast, interview with actor J. Buzz von Ornster, interview with producer Andrew Meisner, 3-minute flash dance by Future Schlock of Everything is Terrible, Culture Shock releasing trailers and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. I would love to get opinions on this one because this is one that I know pretty much nothing about. I haven't seen too much about. I need information about this, especially the second feature, Hollywood New Blood, which again, I know nothing. Slashdance I have heard of, but again, the information is lacking on that one. So please, if you know anything about this, let me know in the comment box. Next, we have Project Space 13 from the Circle Collective. An emerging performance artist is finally given a coveted show at a Manhattan gallery, but right as he begins his durational provocative piece, the entire city shuts down for COVID-19. Unswayed, he locks himself in a white cube space to continue his performance for an audience of none. Directed by Michael M. Blandich, this is the first of 2 titles from him this month. Region-free Blu-ray. It's got a trailer, opening weekend Q&A from the Roxy Cinema with cast and crew, exclusive director, cinematographer, and actor commentary. I Like Black Raspberry, a conversation with Theodore Belucas, Michael B. Blandich, and Stephen Guertz, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. This one just, it looks like a kind of satire on the art world, a bit pieces. It looks a bit surreal as well. Just looking at the trailer, which is here on the page, it just looks bonkers. I'm not interested in that one at all. Just doesn't look like my cup of tea. Next up, we have Hellaware, also from the same director. Hellaware gently satirizes the world of highbrow art through the eyes of wannabe photographer who becomes consumed by the bright lights and mainstream success, jaded by the incestuous New York socialite shit that sells at prominent art galleries. Nate embarks on a quest for a more authentic brand of contemporary art. This one looks a little bit more interesting than the previous movie. It's a region-free Blu-ray, deleted and extended scenes, behind the scenes of Hellaware, commentary, trailer, music video, 24-page booklet, and forward by Abel Ferreira, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. It looks interesting. I don't know if it's one that I want to jump on or hear reviews about. I've got a feeling it looks like an interesting one-time watch. and that's about that. I'd like to hear more though. Next up, we have Backwoods Mercy from Saturn's Core. It's a SOV, is it? A wrong turn during a business trip leads an unexpected yuppie down a perilous road of terror after he foolishly runs afoul of Marcy, a psychotic, redneck, homeless woman who dwells deep in the ominous swamplands of New Jersey pine barrens. After capturing him and caging him up like an animal, the depraved Marcy methodically tortures and rapes her helpless male captive. Upon his escape, a savage fight to the death ensues where only the most cunning of the two will survive. It's a shot-on-video movie, 70 minutes from 1998. Region-free Blu-ray, audio commentary with the actor and co-producer, a Sharky Tale interview with the actor and filmmaker, Behind the Backwoods, a making-of and blooper reel, archival original 1999 VHS cut in standard def, Sharky Video Trailer Vault, bonus movie, an ex-Hooker's Christmas Carol, shot on video Christmas comedy, 73 minutes. Optional audio commentary for that as well. Millie's Wonderful Life, actress Laura Gillo on ex-Hooker's Christmas Carol. Blooper reel, alternative ending, vintage behind-the-scenes featurette, still gallery, reversible cover art, and English SDH subtitles. This looks like a really odd one. Just watching the trailer, it looks like it's kind of fun. It looks like it's been shot in video, a little bit degraded, not the most interesting. I don't know if it's one I'd ever go and watch, but I'm really interested to see the reviews and to see what people are saying about this one. Next up, we've got The Long Walk. An elderly man who has the power to time travel, thanks to a mysterious companion whose death he witnessed, decides to trespass in his own past and set in motion a plan to prevent his mother's suffering and appease his soul. This one looks great. Just looking at the trailer of this, it looks wonderful. We have a young boy who seems to time travel and is talking to a victim of a murder as they're trying to figure out what happened and let the dead rest properly, I think. It looks stunning. It just has a story that just captures the imagination. It's a Region A Blu-ray, introduction by director Matty Doe, commentary from cast and crew, commentary from David Lawson and Robert Cargill, deleted scenes, theatrical trailer, essay by writer Sheila Rowan Legg, reversible cover art, English and French subtitles. This is a strong maybe for me. It just looks a whole lot of fun. It looks beautiful, a lot of the photography, and the story just looks captivating. So anybody seen this? Anybody has comments on it? I would love to know because it looks pretty amazing. Next up, we've got the other French New Wave, Volume 1 from Canadian International Pictures. This is 3 trailblazing classics from the dawn of Quebec's cinematic revolution. You've got The Cat in the Bag, The Merry World of Leopold Z, and Yule 871. I won't go into the intricacies of each of the movies. They're from 1964, 65, and 66. It's a region-free Blu-ray, scanned and restored from the 2K interpositives. You get some shorts on here: The Rink, The Big Swim, Pierce on the Rocks, alternative English audio tracks for Leopold Z and Yule 871, alternative English opening and closing credits from Leopold Z, theatrical trailers. You get bonus shorts, very nice, very nice. Christmas Cracker, the 23 Skidoo. Booklet with essay by film historian Eric Fillon, reversible cover art and English subtitles for all 9 films. A pretty good package if you're into these kind of things. I am completely unaware and I am a little bit, well, I'm not eager to jump onto something that I know as little about as this. Again, be looking forward to the reviews to see whether it is something that I may pick up at a later date. Ode to Nothing from Canny. This is a powerful meditation on our universal longing for connection in increasingly precarious and uncertain and isolated times. Sonia is a living ghost, struggling to keep her family-owned funeral home afloat, lonely and thoroughly alienated by insistent bailiff. She wanders inside her house alone, leaning heavily on her favourite Chinese song recorded on a broken cassette tape, to get through the hours and days until an unexpected corpse lands rather illicitly at her doorstep. Developing a unique relationship with the unclaimed body, she becomes fascinated by the cadaver's absorbing mystique. It's a region-free Blu-ray. We get an interview with the director, a booklet including writing by the DOP, a production designer, and a new essay by Elmo Gonzaga, English subtitles as well. It looks interesting. It looks really languid and as if it's drawn out. One of those movies that you could either find captivating or it's going to put you to sleep. Again, it's another stunning looking movie, but it's not one that I'm super interested in checking out. Next up, we have Pathogen from Agfa and Bleeding Skull. This one, oh, I do not know at all. Conceived when filmmaker Emily Higgins was 12 and released when she was 15, Pathogen is one of the most accomplished horror movies ever made by a person before they could legally drive a car. A mysterious technology has transformed the residents of Austin, Texas into flesh-craving zombies. Armed with a knife, an axe, and many pairs of flip-flops, middle schooler Diane and her Pee-wee zombie squad take to the streets to battle undead parents, teens, and even a toddler. With an impressive devotion to editing and storytelling, Pathogen delivers eyeball gouging decapitations and knife fights, along with an endearing perspective that could only originate from a teenager. Agfa and Bleeding Skull are overjoyed to give Pathogen its first ever wide release, complete with The Zombie Girl, the movie, a feature-length documentary about the making of. The film itself is 66 minutes. It is region-free, preserved from the original digital video master. Commentary with the director and Bleeding Skull's Annie Choi. Cast and crew Q&A from the theatrical premiere. Short Party Killer, directed by Emily Higgins. Bonus movie, Zombie Girl the movie. The feature-length documentary on the making of Pathogen. English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. This is one that I'm kind of curious about. I don't know if enough to actually get it. It looks kind of rough around the edges, but that's exactly what it is. It's a film made by a 12-year-old. I mean, they made a film. It's getting a release. I would like to know more about this one as well before I jump on it, but it does look kind of interesting of sorts. So there we have it. Whole bunch of partner label titles and some interesting month for Vinegar Syndrome. One of the rare months where I've seen a lot of the stuff that they're actually releasing for the main package, which is unusual. Which I kind of like to discover new things, although there are some 4Ks there that I am interested in. I have, of course, ordered the VSA already because, yep, I'm on for the full ride with those, I think, because to be honest, it's been a good run so far, especially with this month's Wolfpack. I would love to know if there's anything you're picking up from this month, from all the titles that they're releasing. Let me know what you've already purchased or what you think is a poor release, or if you have any knowledge about any of the partner releases, let me know in the comment box below. As always, there's more content you can see of mine up here or here maybe. You can click the like button if you like these kind of videos, and don't forget you can join the Patreon and the membership program if you really want to support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on ManVFilm.